good evening to you. Thank you for joining us on this, the 14th of November. My name is Wairi Mombogwa. Let's take a look at the stories making headlines. Curbing drug abuse, liquor licensing board stake. Transforming lives, widows demand recognition. Investing in ideas, incubation centers for the youth. Welcome. Now, campaigns against drug and alcohol abuse are gaining momentum. Just days after Fountain Media Group unveiled the Mothers Against Drug and Alcohol Abuse campaign in Kiambu County, the Nairobi Liquor Licensing Board Chairman George Aladwa has now outlined regulations aimed at stemming the vice. WTV's Winnie Otieno has more.
Alcoholism is a major social problem in Kenya with serious health ramifications. The sad part is that the consumers indulge from a very tender age.
Nilipokuwa form 4, akaniambia mwakazi, unajua ni nini? Hii pombe ukinywa inaharibu zile zinaitwa nini, zile brain cells. Na unajua nilikuwa najitayarisha nifanye KSHs.
According to the World Health Organization, alcohol kills more people than AIDS or even tuberculosis. It is described as, and I quote, a better form of assisted suicide. Recently, Fountain Media Group launched the Mothers Against Drug Abuse campaign in Kiambu County, mobilizing locals to denounce indulgence in drug and alcohol abuse, as well as educate and inform masses on the dangers of drug menace.
So pia sisi tujaribu kutengeneza solution zetu so that tusikue kila wakati tunasema wacha na tumwambie vile ataacha. Ni tukimwambia wacha tunamwambia enda mahali pale kwa mkutano, sawa sawa. Na hata ukiangalia hizi programs ziko kwa rehab ni spiritual in nature.
Government through the NACADA is making every effort to reduce the impact of alcohol-related problems with a vision to create a drug-free society. George Aladwa, the Nairobi County Chairman of the Liquor Licensing Board, highlights.
For Nairobi Liquor Licensing Board, my board is to approve the licenses. You see, to operate a bar, you have to have a license. To manufacture, like ABL, like Kenya Wine Agencies, you have to have a manufacturer license from the board.
He further holds that there are regulations to guide license issuance whose default attract hefty penalties.
Government has always advocated for the rights of special groups, women, youth, and children. But there is a growing concern for another group, widowed women who feel unattended to. Some of them gathered in Nairobi for a peaceful demonstration to demand, and I quote, their rights. Godfrey Umarada with more.
Government has taken initiative to raise funds for special groups such as orphans, people with disability, women, youths and children. It is turning out though that there are women who need special recognition, the widows. There has been a general feeling that their issues have not been addressed. Some of them have lost their spouses while in the line of duty as civilian servants.
Juzi mapolisi wamekufa Kapedo 21. We have 21 widows. Wanaongea tu juu ya mapolisi. Lakini kwa widows
they have vowed to take their campaign to other county to mobilize other widows to come out boldly and ask for their recognition by the government. Importantly though, there are religious leaders and organizations that have programs for such that involve love offerings, special gifts, seminars to encourage them, and most importantly, begin a startup for them to run small enterprise to help them have a living. It is no doubt our responsibility as a society to take care of the needy. Only then shall we demonstrate the true love.
The widowed women have been forgotten and now they are calling upon the government to recognize them. This campaign is not only ending in Nairobi County, but they are planning to sensitize it to the other counties. Reporting for WTV News, I'm Godfrey Omar.
Now that story brings us to our feedback question. Do you think the government should specially recognize widows? Do you think the government should specially recognize widows? Send us your thoughts on our SMS line on 20058. We'll sample them and post them on our Facebook page, WTV Kenya. Ever had a creative idea that you know would change the world but had no way of actualizing it? The concept of crowdfunding and business incubation is relatively foreign in the country. Many people give up on their ideas even before they start trying to have them implemented. However, there are incubation centers in the country that pay attention to such ideas and enable them rather to grow to successful businesses. Here is more. 8 out of 10 Kenyans have brilliant business ideas but have no clue how to actualize them. The Nairobi Incubation Lab is one of the few known business incubation centers in the country that enables young creative ideas become successful businesses through training and startup funding. What inspired NILAB CEO Sam Gishuru to start the Incubation Center are the challenges faced in his struggle to do business for 10 years.
And I figured every time I sat down with young people, they were going through the most basic challenges ever. So I said, hey, why not have a place where we can actually sit together and solve these problems?
NILAB provides opportunity twice a year for a specific period of time to persons with any great business idea and enables them to actualize them.
You must have your own idea. You must have your own ambitions in life. You must desire to be somebody or something before you walk into the space. You must be driven. You must be passionate. So all we do is just pick you up just ready and now put you in a sort of an environment where now, in a sense, provide all the right elements, oxygen, water, air, for you to thrive.
There have been misconceptions that the center only deals with ICT-related ideas, but some elaborates.
Whether you're designing shoes or you're selling vegetables or you're in agriculture, in transportation, playing at any subsector of the economy, as long as we can plug in a component of ICT that helps you deliver the services and better to your end user, to your consumer, then we will incubate you.
So far, the company has incubated more than 35 companies which are currently running and generating revenue, including Cladlight, a company that manufactures a smart jacket that aims to increase visibility of bikers on our roads. The jacket adopts wireless technology to transmit signals to the motorbike. Other successful companies are Keja Hunt, Young Freddy Clothing Line, and Kuhustle, among other companies. According to some, after training, NILAB funds the startup and afterwards shares 10%, and the entrepreneur is left with 90% with continuous support from the center.
You want to start a business, the costs are extremely high. You want to start a business in Nairobi, it's going to cost you about $10,000 upwards to just set up office before you have sold any single product to somebody. So our initial desire is to help you cut down that cost almost by 80%. So we give you a place to sit, a place to work from, high-speed internet access. Then now we sit and work together. We're not training you, we're working together to refine the idea.
In case the business should fail, which according to some happens more often than not, one is allowed to re-strategize.
Failure is good in our industry. When you fail, you learn. We have a culture that punishes those who fail. And so people who have failed once rarely try the same thing twice. Yet when you look at the Silicon Valley, when you look at other markets, you find that anybody who's failed once is able to do it better the second time, and they're encouraged. They even invested into better than people who've never tried.
So far, the best startup has made up to 40 million shillings. NILAB is an encouragement to young people to showcase their business ideas that will have an impact in society. Reporting for WTV News, I'm Wairi Mombogwa. On our security check, our focus is on the National Intelligence Service. Just months after the change of guard at the helm of the spy agency, acts of insecurity are rife, begging the question, is the National Intelligence Service doing enough to avert insecurity in the country?
From what was the Special Branch of National Colonial Police Service in 1952, Kenyan Intelligence Unit was the most feared unit of the security structure then. Most of the memorable names are Major General James Kanyotu, who served for 27 years. Then Major General Brigadier Wilson Boynet took over till 2006. His tenure was considered one of the most intense, gathering economic and political intelligence that allowed the government to have its way in almost every single activity on Kenyan soil. Major General Michael Gishangi then took over from 2006, having the most challenging tenure of all time. According to Peter Mbaye, a security expert, Major General Philip Kameru's term so far has been impressive despite the challenges faced.
Recently, there was a major change at the intelligence security. The former intelligence chief, Gishangi, was removed and a new one there, who is a military, has come in. It's a bit early to know the extent to which they are very effective. but we can say that since he has come in, there has not been much in terms of external terrorism, but there has still remained community-related and terror, as well as crime, the normal crime that we have witnessed in the country. So externally, there is a lot that is happening, but internally, still there are challenges in terms of controlling, particularly crime.
All said and done, it is a call to responsibility. Your security is dependent on you. Guard it. Reporting for WTV News, I'm Godfrey Oma.
In business, Kenya and the International Monetary Fund have agreed on a standby loan deal to support the country's economic reforms and give it a cushion against outside shocks.
International Monetary Fund cited that Kenya plans to treat the loan, which would total $700 million to $750 million, an equivalent of between 63 and 67.5 billion shillings, as a precautionary.
Kenya's economic gains over the last few years have been nothing short of remarkable. Coming on the heels of a delicate political transition, growth remains robust at more than 5% in 2013. It's a number, I have to tell you, that many countries around the world would envy Kenya.
The deal is yet to be approved by the IMF's board, which should meet on the issue in the late January. East Africa's biggest economy had first asked for such a facility at the beginning of 2014 to protect it against the unforeseen shocks, such as weather-related problems for the agricultural sector.
The foundations to lift the economy to middle income status within the next decade. Is that a dream? Is that a tantrum? Is that a fantasy? No.
The standby loan could help Kenya pursue initiatives such as a multi-billion-dollar standard gauge railway while keeping its debt sustainable. Reporting for WTV News, I am Winnie Otieno.
And that's all we had for you this evening. Thank you for joining us. My name is Wairi Mombogwa. Have a blessed night.